Hi fam bam, it's MJ Gordon here, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to do more by doing less. Less is more, quantity over quality, all so true. But how many of you guys find that this is easier said than done? I know that we resonate with these notions, but then we find ourselves kind of going in circles, trying to do more, and our list seems to pile up and we can't get enough done, and it's just like more, and we're just scrambling trying to just get things done, much less do it with quality half the time. If this is you, stick it in the comments below me, and if you feel like you could use a little more doing less but still get more done, say me in the comments below, because I could use a little more of that all the time. I will take that any time of day. So less is more. Is it really true? In a lot of cases, yeah. In some cases, maybe not. But in the case of simplification or simplifying your life, or the way that we look at questioning, does this elevate my life? Does this elevate my being? Less tends to be more. More tends to be distracting. It tends to be overwhelming. It tends to be chaotic. And when we focus on all that quantity and we're not getting any quality, we find ourselves completely unfulfilled. It's like, trying to paint a bunch of pictures. If we're just kind of blah, blah, and then, you don't have really a painting that looks pretty or that you're proud of, because we didn't spend effort on it, we didn't take our time, we didn't focus on quality. So when you apply this to your life, taking the time to remove all the things that don't add value to your life, that don't elevate your experience, that don't elevate your being, and focusing on honing in on and creating quality over the things that do, less is more. And quality over quantity. So I'm going to talk to you today about some things that I have done less of in order to do more of, fill in the blank. And I'm really excited about this because it's just kind of a fun concept, and a great way to look at how doing less can actually truly equal more. So number one on my list is do more slowing down and less hustle. Get present more, because this is the time that actually restores you and balances out your hustle. You guys are hustling all the time. We're hustling to and from, left and right, here and there, everywhere. And we're not taking the time to slow down. So if you're feeling burnt out, if you're feeling you're not getting enough done, if you feel like there's not enough time in a day, if you're feeling absolutely exhausted that you can't even enjoy your Christmas party after putting it together and making it amazing, then what's the point? Slow down a little, live a little. There's equal parts planning, reflecting, and being present in the moment. So more presence, more slowing down, less hustle. Number two, think a little less and move a little more. When you think a little less and you move a little more, you recharge your body, you get all this extra energy out. So rather than festering all your thoughts up in your mind, swirling them in circles, in thoughtless circles, or like circles that get nowhere because you're trying to analyze, or you're trying to solve, or you're just trying to hold it all in, you expend your body, those energies, release it. You balance yourself out, you relax a little bit, you get some good cardio or like beneficial fitness in, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a clear space where you can actually think. Instead of forcing the thinking comes to you. Instead of trying to think about it, these thoughts just pop up. And they're thoughts of clarity and thoughts of solutions and thoughts that actually feel good, thoughts that you can take action on. So less thinking, more moving. Number three on my list is to worry less. Worry takes a lot of energy and it takes up time. And most of the time they do nothing but produce bad feelings and a very uncomfortable experience in the body. Instead, laugh more. If a guy cuts you off, don't worry that he's being an a-hole. Don't worry that it's unjustified. Laugh about it. Be like, man, this guy's a butthead. Thank goodness. Find something to find humor about. There was a quote recently. What did it say? It says, be quick-witted, be quick, something about being quick-witted but have cheap humor. And I just love that so much, because if you can find humor in life, you can find enjoyment in anything. And even though things are serious, you can reduce the amount of time and energy wasted by finding some sense of humor in it, especially if it's something that you're worried about. Find humor in the way that you fester in your worry, or the way that you think about it. Find humor in how dramatized it is, or how untrue it is, or just find humor in the fact that maybe you're wrong, or maybe it turned out a different way. Finding humor can really overpower worry in a very positive and beneficial way. Number 4, less planning, more flowing. This was wonderful because a few weeks ago, I did this photo shoot. It was like 50 degrees. If you guys follow me on Instagram, it was like 50 degrees, the winds were cold, and we had to get wet. Our feet were wet, and fortunately we were able to avoid going in the water entirely, but the sand was wet, and we were in the sand, and it was very, very uncomfortable, and I did not plan it that way. Things did not go as planned at all. But instead, we said, okay, we're just gonna flow with it. We're gonna make the most of this. We're gonna do the best that we can. And we started being goofballs, and we weren't thinking straight. Like, our eyes were watering in this wind. It was so cold. I mean, I was shivering, and I had to pretend like it was warm in my bikini in this 50-degree windy weather. And what happened was the pictures turned out just awesome. Like, the clouds were gorgeous because of the weather. The clouds had this just very unique, spectacular feel. We got some good photos. Some of the photos where I was like, okay, like I feel good enough to just take like a couple photos, just snap it really quick, snap, snap, snap. Some of those photos were some of my favorite photos ever, like ever. And we just flowed with it. And what I realized in my life when I reflect is that flowing with inspiration, letting life show up and present it to you and say, hey, check this out. Check out my menu. You get so many more amazing options than like trying to plan to make it specific, because we're so limited in our minds. So yes, plan, but plan a little less, or plan on breaking your plan sometimes so that you can flow with it, so that you can be open to something more miraculous and more experientially elevating and just better. It just works every time, hands down. Number 5, less of a tight schedule and more breathers. Take more breaks. It sounds crazy, but like I have a tendency to cram my schedule like from front to back. And then like I do like this sprint thing. So I like to like for 5 days straight, go, 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 go. And then it's just like crash and burn for like 3 days. And just like, don't want anything to do, don't want to have anything to do. And it seems like a good idea at that time because it seems efficient, but it really isn't. And what I realized was I would put off like time to process. I would put off that guilt-free me time. I would put off meditating and moving the body. And then all this stuff accumulates in the body, in the mind, and it just wreaks havoc like you wouldn't believe. And it messes up with you. Like, it gets in the way with things. You're not thinking clearly. You're not moving from a space of like clarity and speed and peace and stillness and like abundance. You're like trying to work with this deficit while dragging the burden behind you. And of course that doesn't help you do more. Like, does the opposite. It puts so much more on your plate. So less of a tight schedule, more breaks and breathers in between. Plan to have that space for yourself. And last on my list is less obligations. Get the obligations off your list. Like, sometimes, I'm telling you what, I was going to the business conference in Orlando. I hadn't been to a big conference in a really long time. Way back 5+ years ago, 10 years ago, we used to be required to wear business suits and heels. And I got there and I realized a lot of people were just a lot more casual. Thank you, Gary Vee, for inspiring more casualness in the business and entrepreneurship environment. But I decided, I was like, you know what, screw this. I'm going to my car and I'm wearing my flip-flops. Like, I don't care. I'm not obligated to this. Like, my presence will make up for it. I don't know what I was telling myself, but I went to the car, got my flip-flops, and I was so happy. I did it for me. I did it to just be comfortable so I can absorb more information, so I can sit in my seat comfortably, so I wasn't looking forward to the time ending, so I could just really be present and taking this learning in. And then what happened was Tony Robbins came for like 4 hours. We were jumping up and down, and I thought, oh my gosh, can you believe if I had to do this in my heels? Thank goodness I did something more for me. instead of for obligation. So that is just one story, but there are so many times we put ourselves off because we feel obligated. And a lot of times these obligations we put on ourselves. Nobody asked us to do this. Nobody asked us to clean up the whole house and have dinner made, just because, you love somebody or you want to serve them. Like, nobody asked you to hold space or like think about all these little tedious things. And a lot of times we obligate ourselves to do this because that's what we would want. And we think that's what would make the people around us happy. But they don't notice, or we feel like they're ungrateful, or we feel like, it's not seen because they didn't ask for it. We put those obligations on ourselves, and we compromised ourselves to put those obligations first when they weren't expected or wanted to begin with. So, do more by doing less. Let's go over this list. Do less hustling. Slow down. Oh my gosh, that sounds crazy because hustling more seems like it's going to get more done, right? Do less thinking. Do more moving. Worry less. Laugh a little bit more. Schedule yourself less. Breathe more. Take breaks more. And lastly, obligate yourself less. Take more time and more decisions for you. Most of all, do what elevates yourself and your life and your well-being and your experience and your ability to do more. Sometimes it seems so ironic, or it seems so opposite. Like, how can taking more time for myself, how can taking more time to plan meals, to get to bed early, to not skip working out, like, how can this make me do more? Because you're establishing the foundation from which you move and function. And if you're not keeping that, like if your car is not well oiled, well gassed, and well taken care of, is it going to get you from point A to B efficiently? Probably not. So think of yourself that way. When you take care of yourself, you prime it. Yes, you're investing more time to take care of yourself, but you're priming yourself to be efficient and to function seamlessly. And that's why it is important for you to do more by doing less. Do less of the have to, less of the hustle, less of the obligation, less of the force-imposed flow, and take more time to get present, to be still, and to serve yourself so that you can serve others. So that's it for today. Hooray! I hope you guys liked it. I love this stuff so much because as a person who likes to hustle and who gets things done, I'm a list checker. I like to check lists. It took so many years to feel like it's okay to lay down and take a nap. It's okay to kick back, zone out, and just breathe for a minute. It's okay to say, hey honey, can I have 20 minutes so I can light my tea lights and play my classical music and get in the tub and relax a little bit? Is that okay? You are the person that needs to give yourself that permission. And when you do that, you are gonna have an abundance of energy. You're gonna have an abundance of creativity and motivation to actually do the things that you wanna do, to get done the things that you can get done, that you need to get done. And then what's crazy about it is because even though you're taking more time to do all this stuff, you end up with more time and energy and this elevated sense of being to contribute into more places, to create more, and to feel actual joy and excitement when you're doing all this. So realize that while you have this big agenda and you have really good intentions and things that you want to accomplish and things that you plan on doing, in order for you to actually truly accomplish that, you have to learn how to balance doing less so that you can do more. So thank you guys so much for your time, for your attention, for your contribution, and for just sharing this space and your journey with me. If you have not applied for a 20-minute coaching where we can talk one-on-one, check that out down there below if you want to see how we can apply all of this to your unique situation and your current status right now. And I will see you guys in the next video. I was trying to think, I was in the next year? I don't know yet where, I will see you guys soon and I look forward to it. I love you guys so much. Thanks for being here. Ciao for now.